Welcome back right here. And of course, the internal conflicts rocking the Labour Party took a new turn as the national chairman of the party, Julius Abure, and the presidential candidate of the party in the 2023 election, Peter Otti, simultaneously called for separate meetings of the National Executive Committee to discuss the future of the party. Now, this happened following the Supreme Court's verdict, which set aside earlier decisions of the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal that recognized Julius Abure as the chairman of the party and held that the issue of leadership is an internal affair of the party over which courts lack jurisdiction. Now, while Abure's meeting was scheduled to hold at the national headquarters of the party in Abuja, Obi, alongside Governor of Abure State Alex Otti, called for a stakeholders summit at a different venue, which held on Wednesday, 9th of April. I still have with me right here Abure Ndukwe. We are still on this issue. Now, with this whole conflict rocking the Labour Party, I can understand that the battle for control in the Labour Party, currently we are the deposed chairman of the party, Julius Abure, and Peter Obi, holding separate NEC meetings, I mean, to discuss future of the party. Would there ever be an end to this?
Well, if they decide, but it's unfortunate that the key players don't want to, stick to the letters of the judgment. You see, it's not about sentiment. No matter how many years you've been there, and no matter how well you did in the last election, that's not it. What matters is what the law says. I'm a stickler to the law, what the law says. Unfortunately, we have a generation that has defied law. In fact, I think it's worse in this period, because what is happening in Labour Party is almost like what we saw in the PDP. That's the judgment. Even the Rivers case, that was a similar judgment when the court said, no, we don't have any rights to interfere on the internal affairs of a party. The court didn't stop there. The court also granted the prayers of the appellant, in this case, Nenadi Usman. And I think that says it all. So it's not about, yes, the court says it's you people go and decide it's your this thing, but they made orders that were clearly spelled out. And what were the prayers of Nenadi Usman? That's what most people who comment are not even asking.
Okay.
You get the point? So if Usman had asked that, look, these people's tenure had expired and we had conducted, I am the caretaker chairman, and the court grants our prayers. So be it.
Now, you're talking about expiration now. I recall the senator representing Anambra Central in the National Assembly, Victor Ome, has said that there is no way back to the party for the sacked former chairman, which is Julius Abure. He also reaffirmed that Abure's tenure has expired and he is in breach of an agreement. Why is Abure finding it difficult to understand this verdict? Why is he still adamant?
It's the African man, and because there are so many people interpreting court judgments.
Or is that something we are not, we don't know
I don't want to say, I don't even want to talk about that yet. Right. I'm looking at it from the point of view of what people do once there's a court judgment. We saw it happen in the case of Rivers. We saw it happen in the case of Sam Anyango and the other man. People were, interpreting court judgments. And unfortunately, in this case, there's no presidency to intervene, like what happened in Rivers State. If the court has given a judgment, you give it to your lawyers to interpret. You don't interpret it by yourself and then begin to act. And then, taking laws into your hands. Abure should know that the laws have spoken, unfortunately. I have sympathy for him because he led the party to that glorious moment. We saw what Labour Party was made of. But again, it's even surprising that a party like that with a personality like Peter Obi, who we all know his popularity rating. I'm not talking about whether he would do well as president or not, but you can see the kind of crowd that the man, was able to amass. Who jokes with that kind of person? How many candidates can have that kind of popularity and strength? And let me also remind you, most times, after each election year, and any party that loses, you see that the presidential candidate goes to sleep until close to the next election year. That's when they surface. But in this case, I think that Peter Obi has been very much around. And luckily, the Labour Party secured one state. And that state happens to be my state. You made
an assertion now that Abure obviously is feeling a bit cheated because he led the party to the glorious phase there. So do you think he's also feeling that from the look of things, they are trying to shut him out, and that's why he's fighting with everything?
You must sit down on the table and talk with them. Fortunately for them, they have a state. They have Abia State, one state out of I mean, it's not like it's a pass mark for Labour Party. Labour Party has been in existence even before Abure came. So, but for them to have been able to secure one state, well, I think that Alex Otti won't leave him out in the cold like that. If he goes to sit down and talk with them, and then you become an elder in the party. Of course, there's a place reserved for elders, and of course, there's something left for elders that children cannot also partake of.
But he wants to be in the active role.
No, but but the courts have spoken, the law has spoken. True. You cannot be against the law. That's the challenge here. Like I said, I have sympathy for him. He has done his bit. I don't know what may have transpired. I don't know why they want him out. Maybe there are things we don't know. But whatever it is something that they can sit down, and discuss. And like I said, I know Alex Otti even before he became governor, and I believe that Alex won't leave him in the cold, even if he thinks that there's nothing coming for him from it. In fact, he should be supportive of whatever the party, so that if they win tomorrow, at least he will be there sitting as the man who, led the party to its this thing the first time, and then built the foundation for the next person who is coming. This sit-down tight thing in Africa got to stop. Okay, it got to stop.
All right. Well, let's